Ladies and gentlemen, it is a final semi-final contest. 3 semi-finals, 2 down the line, 2 schools in the finals. We have 1 school remaining to complete the sets, and we'll have a major showdown in the grand finale. I want to welcome you all to the 3rd semi-final contest between the Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies and the University of Ghana. This is a Tertiary Business Sense challenge brought to us by Graphic Business in partnership with ICAG. Sponsors include Glyco Life, PwC, Gold Ghana, Piva Beverages. It also includes Papaya Fast Food, Zenith University College, E-People Book Services, Ghana National Association of Teachers, CompuGhana, MT, and GCB Bank. They are solidly behind us as we bring you this competition. Our media partners are TV3 Daily Graphic and Graphic Online. Remember, the program is streaming live on Facebook as well as on YouTube. In the first semi-final contest, the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology edged University of Cape Coast in a very thrilling encounter. It had to take a tiebreaker to separate the 2 great institutions. The second one was between the University of Education Winneba and the Valley View University, with the University of Education Winneba winning that one with some good margin. The third contest is between SD Dombo University and the University of Ghana. If you'll recall, last year we had 3 institutions in the finals. Those 3 were KNUST, University of Education Winneba, and that time University of Ghana. There is an opportunity for us to repeat that final of last year. But then again, there is an opportunity for a major setback. What? Now, what we need to know is that this contest was, what we need to know again is that this was the same third semi-final contest of last year. The same schools, where the University of Ghana edged out SD Dombo to qualify to the finals to complete the trial. This year, SD Dombo is on a mission. They won the zonal championship for the very first time, and they want to get to the final for the very first time. Of course, it is a battle between two zonal champions, the Northern Zone champion and the Southeast Zone champion. Please join me as we welcome our champions on stage. So once they walk in, for SD Dombo, they joined TBS in 2021. That was after they had separated from UDS. From 2021, it has been an upward trajectory. 2023, 2024, they were in the zonal finals. They could not win. In 2025, they won their zonal championship. 2025, they have established themselves as a school to beat. They have averaged about 40 points per contest this year. But they come up against a University of Ghana side who has averaged about 63 this year. Beyond that, the University of Ghana is a reigning national champion. They have an opportunity. And the last thing I want to add, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that since semi-final 2 in 2023, the University of Ghana has not lost a contest in TBSC. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, this one promises to be exciting. Both schools are determined. They are seated. Gentlemen, strong ones, very brilliant. Introduce yourselves as the Dumbo.
Michael Imorufatao, become accounting level 400. Julius Soyoro Bekane, banking and finance level 400.
I am Saleh Abdallah, become accounting level 200.
Yeah, welcome, gentlemen. As the Dumbo, how has the preparation been like for this contest?
So we'd like to say that so far the preparation has been good. We've kept in much more strategies to be able to match up to our opponents. Okay.
What should we expect from you today?
We expect an interesting competition today.
All right, an interesting one. And they are coming up against the University of Ghana. Please introduce yourselves.
So, Jonathan Nina, in BSc Accounting final year.
Peter Emeka Ike, BSc Banking and Finance final year.
Shalom Bejinana Nakwami, BSc Accounting level 300.
All right. University of Ghana, how prepared are you for this contest?
We are prepared.
How has the preparation been like?
We've had a good round of preparations, and we are taking it one step at a time.
All right, all right. What should we expect from you today? What should we expect from you?
You should expect a win.
We should expect
A win.
a win. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, they are seated. They are ready for battle. I wish both schools the very best of luck. My name is Al Hassan Yusuf Traule, and of course, I love academic value. The contest is going to be organized in 6 rounds. If you don't keep quiet before you realize we are in round 2. The contest is going to be organized in 6 rounds. Round 1 is theory, round 2 calculations, round 3 business case of the day. Round 4 graphic business segment, round 5 true or false. The 6th round will be on Riddles. Please, are you ready? Dombo, are you ready?
Yes, please.
University of Ghana, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, let's begin with round 1. I'm starting with Dombo. In this round, I'm going to ask you theory questions. You have 10 seconds within which to give me an answer. If you get it correct, 3 points. If it's a bonus, 1 point. Bonus, you need 5 seconds to give me an answer, maximum. Common preamble, the first set of questions. Effective communication is not just about what is said, but how it is delivered and received. Neuro-linguistic programming offers practical tools that enhance interpersonal interactions by aligning language, behavior, and perception. For the scenarios I'm going to give to you, identify and apply the key neuro-linguistic programming principles that apply. I hope you get that. Did you get a preamble?
Yes, please.
UJ, did you get a preamble? All right. So, Dombo, your scenario. During a project debrief at GlycoLife, Esther AJ expresses frustration that the team failed completely in their marketing campaign. And as Jesse, who is a brand strategist, responds, yes, we didn't hit our target, but now we know what doesn't work. And that clarity puts us on closer to a winning strategy next quarter. Let me take the scenario again. During a project debrief at GlycoLife, Esther AJ expresses frustration that the team failed completely in their marketing campaign. And as Jesse, who is a brand strategist, responds, yes, we didn't hit our target, but we know what doesn't work. And that clarity puts us closer to a winning strategy next quarter. Which type of neuro-linguistic program is this?
Okay, so we have the evaluation program. This is because they've learned their lessons from past doctrines and what has transpired in the previous deal. And by this, they have the edge to make corrections to it going forward.
That is not correct. Bonus to the University of Ghana.
So we have cognitive drive neuro-linguistics. This is because the sales manager is persistent and determined to achieve improve sales, even though the already existing sales didn't go well.
For a bonus, I won't take that. Now your major question, University of Ghana. During a high-stakes meeting with executives from MTN Ghana, Franklin Sowa notices that the CFO, Comfort, frequently uses her hands to emphasize points. As the meeting progresses, Franklin subtly begins gesturing in a similar fashion, matching her hand rhythm and posture without being obvious. Comfort smiles more, leans in, and becomes noticeably more open in her responses. I take it again. During a high-stakes meeting with executives from MTN Ghana, Franklin Sowa notices that the CFO, Comfort, frequently uses her hands to emphasize points. As the meeting progresses, Franklin subtly begins gesturing in a similar fashion, matching her hand rhythm and posture without being obvious. Comfort smiles more, leans in, and becomes noticeably more open in her responses. Which technique is this?
So the technique it is kinesics. This is because kinesics basically has to do with gestures. And per the scenario, there were hand gestures, and the CFO was using hand gestures, and Comfort was able to understand what the CFO was saying based on his hand gesture, which where the smile explains that.
I'll not take that. Bonus for SD Dumbo.
Okay, so we have disagreement. So this technique.
That what?
Disagreement.
Disagreement, okay.
So disagreement has to do with the sense that the fellow has to throw gestures in disbelief, showing that he or she is not satisfied with that particular scenario.
It is not correct. What I'm looking for is mirroring. Mirroring. Mirroring is where one mimics the gestures, posture, or tone of the other person. Next set of questions. Still beginning with SD Dumbo. Common preamble. According to the Hesse and Blanchard situational leadership theory, effective leadership depends on matching leadership style to the follower's level of maturity or development. The theory outlines 4 leadership styles corresponding to 4 follower maturity development levels. That is M1 to M4. So for the scenarios I'm going to give you, you are required to identify the development level of the follower and recommend the most appropriate leadership style to use. Is that clear? SD Dombo, your scenario. Stella, newly appointed project lead at MTN Ghana, assigns Alfred Akweje to handle technical documentation. Alfred has never done this type of work before and appears hesitant and unsure of the process, frequently asking for clarification. Stella, newly appointed project lead at MTN Ghana, assigns Alfred Akweje to handle technical documentation. Alfred has never done this type of work before and appears hesitant and unsure of the process, frequently asking for clarification.
So we have the directive leadership. And this one, that is because Alfred has no knowledge and the superior is just delegating all duties to him.
I'll give you 2 out of 3. Remember, I'll urge that you listen to the question well because it was in 2 parts. Now, University of Ghana. At GlycoLife, Ms. Baidu is supervising NSJC, who has moderate experience in using the new CRM software, but often doubts his abilities and frequently seeks reassurance. He occasionally misses small details due to anxiety. At GlycoLife, Ms. Baidu is supervising NSJC, who has moderate experience in using the new CRM software, but often doubts his abilities and frequently seeks reassurance. He occasionally misses small details due to anxiety.
So the type of leadership theory is coaching or selling. And the maturity level of the employee is that she has a medium-high maturity level. That is to say, she has the capacity but lacks that confidence.
It is correct. Under the International Public Sector Accounting Standards, specifically referencing IPSAS 2 service concession arrangements, a public sector entity, that's a grantor or the grantor, must recognize infrastructure received through a service concession arrangement as an asset if it controls the assets. The grantor also recognizes a liability for the consideration granted to the operator. Now, liability may be accounted for using 2 different models. Under IPSAS 32, liabilities may be accounted for using 2 different models. depending on how the operator is compensated. So for the scenario I'm going to read out to you, identify the liability recognition model. I hope that is clear. Yes. So it's as simple as that. Ubit. The Ministry of Roads and Highways in Ghana enters into a 25-year agreement with a private operator to build and operate a toll road. The operator will build the road, maintain it, and collect toll revenue from road users for the entire period. The government does not guarantee any minimum payment and will not make any payment to the operator. The road reverts to the government after 25 years. I'll take it again. The Ministry of Roads and Highways in Ghana enters into a 25-year agreement with a private operator to build and operate a toll road. The operator will build the road, maintain it, and collect toll revenue from road users for the entire period. The government does not guarantee any minimum payment. I will not make any payment to the operator. The road reverts to the government after 25 years. Remember, you have one attempt only.
Okay, we have the unguaranteed liability model. Okay, so
I'll not accept that, even better. University of Ghana, bonus. Bonus to University of Ghana.
So they are going to, the model here that is going to be used here is the recognition of liability before recognition or before the due date. That is, the government is going to recognize the liability even before the 25 years is elapses for the transfer to be made.
No. I'll explain. The Ghana Health Service, your major question, University of Ghana. The Ghana Health Service contracts a private operator to build and operate a regional hospital for 20 years. Under the agreement, the government pays the operator a fixed amount each year, regardless of the number of patients served. The operator does not charge patients directly. I take it again. The Ghana Health Service contracts a private operator to build and operate a regional hospital for 20 years. Under the agreement, the government pays the operator a fixed amount each year, regardless of the number of patients served. The operator does not charge patients directly.
So the liability model here is going to be recognition of liability before the 20 years elapses. That is, the fixed amount that are going to be made irrespective would be recognized as liability by the private sector.
Please come again, Jonathan.
So the liability here is going to be recognized by the private sector even before the 20 years elapses for the transfer to be made.
I'll not accept that. I'm not talking about private sector. Bonus for SD Dumbo.
So we have the contingent liability. Contingent liability because payments are not going to be made until it's not going to be made directly from the government.
No, please. I won't accept that. We have two main types of liability models under IPSAS 32. We have the financial liability model and the grant of right to operator model. So assuming when the government gives a contract, there are two ways that the government can pay the contractor. One is that the government will take it upon itself that I owe you, I accept, and I'm going to be paying you. That's a financial liability model. The government recognizes the fact that he owes the contractor, that's the operator, and the government will then take necessary steps to pay. The other model is the government gives you the opportunity to earn revenue from whatever you have done. That's why we call it the grant of right to operator model. So for example, when a motorway is constructed, the government can decide that the private operator who constructed it should put a toll booth on the motorway so that as people pay, it serves as payment to the operator until such a time that the operator is able to recoup all their investment, then they hand over the project to the government. Please, I hope you get that. That's what we refer to as the grant of right to operator model. Next set of questions. Still with SD Dombo beginning, common preamble. Okay, this is not a common preamble. Jessica is a chartered tax consultant. She's been appointed by Papaya Fast Foods to assist in a special compliance review initiated by the GRA. During the engagement, she receives a formal notice from the Commissioner General requesting the company to file its income tax return earlier than the statutory filing deadline. The CFO of the company is surprised and questions the legal basis of this directive, as the company's due date for filing has not passed. As a tax professional, identify 3 circumstances under which the Commissioner General may legally require a person or entity to file a tax return before the regular due date. As a tax professional, identify 3 circumstances under which a Commissioner General may legally require a person or entity to file a tax return before the regular due date, and the rationale for each of these.
We have when the entities do not keep proper records. So when,
Okay, we also have when the Commissioner General.
Once the time is gone, only one person can speak, so he should continue.
so the first one is record keeping. The second one is when the Commissioner General suspects any illegality in tax payment. We also have the last one to be when it's in the interest of the public for one to be investigated. They can also file for yes. So when the public gives consent for one to be investigated, that particular company can be assessed.
Julius, please come clear with your 3 points now.
The first one is lack of improper record keeping. The next one is when the Commissioner General realizes that the company is undertaking an illegal act, thereby not making the taxable income correctly. So when the Commissioner General again realizes that the person has not consistently been filing for tax returns before the due date.
2 out of 3. And now, University of Ghana. Silas is a tax compliance officer at Graphic Business Limited. He's mentoring a group of new graduate interns during their rotation with the company's finance department. During one of their discussions, an intern asked whether all taxpayers in Ghana are legally required to file income tax returns, even when they have no taxable income or are not actively conducting business. To encourage applied understanding of Ghana's tax rules, Silas assigns the interns a research task on this issue. University of Ghana, as one of the interns, identify and explain 3 circumstances under which a person is not required to file an income tax return under the Income Tax Act, Act 896. 3 circumstances under which a person is not required to file an income tax return under the Income Tax Act, Act 896.
Okay, so one is that the person will not file any income tax when the person is unemployed, when the person is trading, when the person is trading outside Ghana, and also when the person is bankrupt.
Please give me your answers once and direct.
As an intern, one is that when the person trades outside Ghana, the person is not going to file an income tax return. And also when that individual is unemployed. And the third one is when the person has been declared bankrupt.
1 out of 3. The one is in respect of the trade outside Ghana, which is even translated loosely. And normally that is applicable to a resident individual who has no tax payable for the year. But the unemployed, the fact that you're unemployed doesn't mean you don't earn income. You may earn investment income and you have to file returns. You may earn business income. Again, the fact that you are bankrupt does not mean you shouldn't file returns. All right. Next set of questions. This time I'm beginning from the University of Ghana. University of Ghana, you are starting this set for us. So this set will assess your ability to identify the correct statistical test based on the nature of the variables, based on the type of data, the number of groups, and then the research question. So I'm going to give you a policy problem which requires some statistical analysis. Tell me the specific test that should be conducted or that would be required for this kind of situation or scenario. University of Ghana. Emmanuel Adi at Gold Ghana is analyzing whether fuel type preference, that is petrol or diesel, is associated with region, that is north, south, east, and west. He collects frequency count from 500 customers across regions. Emmanuel Adi at Gold Ghana is analyzing whether fuel type preference, either petrol or diesel, is associated with region, north, south, east, and west. He then collects frequency counts from 500 customers across regions. Which test is most appropriate for this kind of analysis?
So we use the Z test if the data sampling is greater than 30. But since it's 500.
Since it's 500.
I mean, so we use the Z test, and this is used when the data or what if sample is greater than 30.
No, it is not a T test. It is not a T test.
I said Z.
Z. No, it's not a Z test. No. Bonus for SD Dumbo.
Sorry. So we have the ordinary least square test. This is because it shows the relationships between two variables.
It is not correct. It is not correct. Now your major question, SD Dumbo. Evans Tayuba, director at Graphic Business, suspects that employee satisfaction rated 1 to 10 is related to number of hours worked per week. He collects this data for 80 employees and wants to quantify the relationship. Evans Tayuba, director at Graphic Business, suspects that employee satisfaction, which is rated from 1 to 10, is related to number of hours worked per week. He collects this data for 80 employees and wants to quantify the relationship. Which test is more appropriate, or which analytical tool is more appropriate for this?
Okay, so the appropriate test is t-test. This is because it intends to quantify a wider range of values.
It is not correct. Bonus for the University of Ghana. So what is required here is a Pearson correlation, because you want to examine the linear relationship between two continuous variables. The earlier one that I asked was a chi-square test. The chi-square test. Next set of questions. Common preamble, one attempt only. One attempt only. So you know there are various types of working capital strategy. There are various types of working capital strategy. I'm going to give you a scenario. Just tell me in one attempt the working capital strategy that is being applied and why you think that is the case. University of Ghana, I'm coming to you. Glycolife adopt a financing model where it funds both its current asset and part of its long-term assets using short-term borrowings to benefit from low interest rates. This creates periodic refinancing risks but increases profit during stable economic conditions. Glycolife adopt a financing model where it funds both its current assets and part of its long-term assets, using short-term borrowings to benefit from lower interest rates. This creates periodic refinancing risks, but increases profit during stable economic conditions.
So it is aggressive policy.
So So 2 out of 3. Please listen to the question well. I asked you 2 things. Okay. Now, SD Dumbo. SD Dumbo. Papaya Fast Foods maintains high cash balances and large inventory buffers and funds both its current assets and a portion of its current liabilities using long-term capital. It earns low returns on the idle cash, but rarely experiences stockouts or payment delays. Papaya Fast Foods maintains high cash balance and large inventory buffers and funds both its current assets and a portion of its current liabilities using long-term capital. It earns low returns on idle cash, but rarely experiences stockouts or payment delays.
Okay, so we have the conservative working capital strategy, and this is because the company tend to hold more cash in an inventory.
I'll accept that. And now the last set of questions for this round, beginning with the University of Ghana. Last set of questions. So I'm going to give you some scenarios. What you are supposed to do is to examine the cash flow nature of the transaction, whether it is an inflow or outflow, and tell me which part of the cash flow statement it should be found if you identify that it's a cash item. So identify if it is a cash item, tell me whether it is inflow or outflow, and tell me which aspect of the statement of cash flows we are likely to find this. Okay. University of Ghana. Yvonne Ayi at Zenith University College confirms receiving 1.2 million cedis in cash from the government, specifically to subsidize the purchase of lab equipment. Yvonne Ayi at Zenith University confirms receiving 1.2 million cedis cash from the government, specifically to subsidize the purchase of lab equipment.
So it's an inflow. The inflow of 1.2 million is going to be an inflow, and in the cash flow statement is going to be placed under financing activities.
Yes. SD Dombo. NSJC at Gold Ghana confirms an 850,000 cedis payment to the Ghana Revenue Authority for VAT collected from customers. NSJC confirms a 850,000 cedis payment to GRA for VAT collected from customers.
Okay, so it's an outflow and it's under the operating expenses or activities. It's an outflow and it's under the operating activities.
It is correct. On that note, we come to the end of round 1. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a contest between 2 champions. The champion from the Northern Zone, the champion from the Southeast Zone. It is a contest for a place at the zonal or the national final. We will take our scores for round 1 and then we make progress. So whilst we wait for the scores, we are reminded that the program is brought to us by Graphic Business in partnership with the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana. We are powered by MTN, which is Ghana's #1 network, driving digital transformation and academic impact. Special appreciation to PwC, bringing global insight and local excellence to support our brightest minds. We are also giving thumbs up to Gold Ghana, who are trusted by millions and now fueling Ghana's brightest business talents. Glyco Life is here for your family. It is here for your future and the future of Ghana's professionals. At the end of round 1, University of Ghana had 9 points. SD Dumbo had 10 points. We are going into round 2, which will involve calculations. You are free to use your calculators. You have 30 seconds to give me an answer. If you get it correct, 3 points. If you get it wrong, or if it's true, a bonus, 1 point. For bonus, you have 5 seconds to give me an answer. Okay, beginning this round from the University of Ghana. UG. Agnes Addo, investment manager at Piva Beverages, is allocating 120,000 cedis across 3 assets: equities, government bonds, and commercial property. The expected returns and standard deviations are given to us as follows. She decides to allocate funds in proportion to the Sharpe ratio using the risk-free rate of 2%. Now, equity, expected return is 12%, and the standard deviation is 18%. Government bonds, expected return 5%, standard deviation 5%. Commercial property, expected return 9%, standard deviation 12%. Use the Sharpe ratio to determine how Agnes will allocate the 120,000 cedis investment. Agnes is an investment manager at Glycolife. She's allocating 120,000 cedis across 3 assets. We have equity, bonds, and commercial property. The returns and standard deviations will be given, but she decides to allocate funds in proportion to the Sharpe ratio. The risk-free rate is 2%. Equities expected return is 12%, standard deviation 18%. Government bonds return is 5%, standard deviation 5%. Commercial paper 9% return, 12% standard deviation. Use the Sharpe ratio to allocate the funds.
So the funds that will be allocated to equity is 66,700. For government bond, it's going to be 72,000, and for commercial properties, it's going to be 70,000.
It is not correct. You have one other chance. Okay, time is up. Unfortunately, the timer isn't showing, but time is up. Bonus for SD Dumbo.
So for equity, we have 67,200. And for government bonds, we have for the last one.
It is not correct. I won't take that. You started on the wrong note. That is not correct. Is there a problem with the timer, please? All right. Okay, so the next set of questions for you, SD Dumbo. SD Dumbo. Kwame Lawe, portfolio manager at Graphic Business, must invest 80,000 cedis in 3 categories: technology stocks, corporate bonds, and REITs. The expected returns and standard deviations are given as follows. For tech stock, return is 14%, standard deviation is 20%. Corporate bonds, 7% return, 6% standard deviation. REITs, return is 9%, standard deviation is 10%. The risk-free rate is 4%. Use the Sharpe ratios to determine the fund allocation. Kwame Lawe, portfolio manager at Graphic Business, must invest 80,000 cedis in 3 categories: the tech stock, corporate bonds, and REITs. The expected returns and standard deviations are as follows. For tech stock, return is 14%, standard deviation 20%. Corporate bond 7%, deviation 6%. REITs 9% return, 10% standard deviation. The risk-free rate is 4%. Use the Sharpe ratios to determine the fund allocation.
So we have for option A 0.5, and then option B 0.5, and the last option 0.5.
It is not correct. You have one other chance.
So we have option A 40,000, option B 40,000, and then option C 40,000.
No, that is not correct. Bonus for the University of Ghana.
The first one received an allocation of 26,666.67. The same amount applies to the other two.
So if you could get this, why did you get yours wrong? Yes. Because it's the same approach you were supposed to use. All right, that's fine. Your major question. University of Ghana. Next set of question beginning with you. All right, so Samuel Ansah, the assistant producer at Graphic Business, receives a bill of exchange with a face value of 65,000 cedis from a major advertising partner. To fund an urgent print run, he discounts the bill at GCB Bank, which offers a 10% annual discount rate based on a 365-day year. After the transaction, Graphic Business receives 63,917.8 in proceeds. Calculate the number of days remaining until the maturity of the bill based on the bank discount method. I take it again. Samuel Ansah, the assistant producer at Graphic Business, receives a bill of exchange with a face value of 65,000 cedis from a major advertising partner. To fund an urgent print run, he discounts the bill at GCB Bank, which offers a 10% annual discount rate based on a 365-day year. After the transaction, Graphic Business receives 63,917.80 in proceeds. Calculate the number of days remaining until the maturity of the bill based on the bank discount method.
$59.9 days.
No, it is not 59.9 days. You have one other chance.
60.77.
Yes. All right. Dombo. Felix Tay is a treasury manager at Glycolife. He receives 120,000 cedis bill and discounts it at Zenith Bank after 35 days. The bank offers a 6% per annum discount rate, and Felix receives 118,270.14. Determine the number of days remaining on the bill at the time of discounting. Felix Tay is treasury manager at Glycolife. He receives 120,000 cedis bill and discounts it at GCB Bank after 35 days. The bank offers a 6% per annum discount rate, and Felix receives 118,270.14. Determine the number of days remaining on the bill at the time of discounting.
Okay, so we have the answer to be 87.69.
Yes. University of Ghana, I'm back to you. University of Ghana. Emmanuel Amamu is an assistant producer at Graphic. He manages the company's digital archives and monitors daily email traffic. On average, the team receives 600 emails per day. Each email, including attachments, occupies about 7 kilobytes. The storage provider charges 0.015 CD per megabyte for monthly storage usage. Assuming a 30-day month and that 1 megabyte equals 1,000 kilobytes, calculate the total monthly storage cost incurred by Graphic Business for storing these emails. Emmanuel Amamu, the assistant producer at Graphic Business, manages the company digital archives and monitors daily email traffic. On average, the team receives 600 emails per day. Each email, including its attachment, occupies about 7 kilobytes. The storage provider charges 0.015 CDs per megabyte for monthly storage usage. Assuming a 30-day month and that 1 megabyte equals 1,000 kilobytes, calculate the total monthly storage cost incurred by Graphic Business for storing these emails.
180,000.
It's not 180,000. You have one other chance.
One million 890,000.
It is not 1,890,000. You've exhausted your chances. Bonus for SD Dumbo.
Okay, we have 5,302.
No, it is not correct. SD Dumbo, your major question. SD Dumbo. All right. George Danso is a project coordinator at ICAG. He oversees a departmental inbox that receives 750 emails per day. Each email consumes 6 kilobytes of storage. The cloud service provider charges 0.02 CDs per megabyte per month. Calculate the total monthly usage or monthly storage cost. 1 megabyte equals 1,000 kilobytes. I take it again. George Danso, the project coordinator at ICA, oversees a departmental inbox that receives 750 emails per day. Each email consumes 6 kilobytes of storage. The cloud service provider charges 0.02 CDs per megabyte per month. Calculate the total monthly storage cost. 1 megabyte equals 1,000 kilobytes.
Okay, we have 276,480.
It is not correct. You have one other chance.
Okay, so we have 22 million, so we have 2.7.
Please, give me one definite answer now.
So we have 2.7.
You have 2.7, and the 2.7 is correct. So, University of Ghana, yours was 1.89, not 1,890,000. I didn't mention any millions. Okay. Next set of questions, still beginning with University of Ghana. Malik Haruna, Director of Strategy at CompuGhana, is evaluating 2 capital investment opportunities for expanding the company digital retail platform. Both options involve a mix of technological upgrades and customer acquisition campaigns, but differ significantly in terms of risk and return. Option A, a moderate risk investment with a 60% probability of success. If successful, it will generate an estimated net gain of 200,000 cedis. If unsuccessful, the company expects a net loss of 50,000 cedis. Option B, a high-risk, high-reward investment with a 40% probability of success. If successful, it could yield a net gain of 300,000 cedis. However, if it fails, it will result in a net loss of 100,000 cedis. Calculate the expected monetary value of both options, and based on the expected monetary value, advise which investment Malik should recommend to management. Malik is evaluating 2 capital investment opportunities to expand the business. For option A, it is a moderate risk investment with a 60% probability of success. If it is successful, it will generate an estimated net gain of 200,000 cedis. If it's unsuccessful, the company expects a net loss of 50,000 cedis. For option B, a high risk, high reward investment with a 40% probability of success. If that is successful, it will yield a net gain of 300,000 cedis. But if it fails, it will result in a net loss of 100,000 cedis. Calculate the expected monetary value of each option, and based on the expected monetary value, advise which investment Malik should recommend to management.
So for the first project, that is A, the expected, so the amount is going to be 100,000. And for the second, that's B, is going to be 60,000. And we advise that Malik should go with the first one.
Yes. Bernice is a coordinator project coordinator at GlycoLife or at CompuGhana. She must choose between two packaging automating systems. For system A, 70% chance of saving 150,000 cedis annually, 30% chance of incurring an additional 40,000 cedis in cost. System B, 50% chance of saving 180,000 cedis annually, 50% chance of saving only 20,000 cedis. Calculate the expected monetary value of each investment and recommend the better option. I take it again. Bernice is a project coordinator at CompuGhana. She must choose between two packaging automation systems. For system A, 70% chance of saving 150,000 cedis annually, 30% chance of incurring an additional 40,000 cedis in cost. System B, 50% chance of saving 180,000 cedis annually, 50% chance of saving only 20,000 cedis. Calculate the expected monetary value of each system and recommend the better option.
Okay, so we have option A, 84,000.
84,000.
And then option B, 80,000. And then we recommend option A.
It is not correct. You have one other chance.
Okay, so we have the A.
I need an answer.
The A is 93,000, and the B. So the A is 93,000, and the B gives us a value of.
A value of. I need an answer now.
So 93,000 and gives us a value of 80,000. So we choose option A.
1 out of 3. The A is correct, the B is wrong, and that affected your recommendation. As per the recommendation, B is 100,000 actually, and you select B. Next set of questions. This time we are beginning from SD Dombo. SD Dombo, I'm starting with you this time. All right, so Evans Minta is an operations manager at GCB Bank. Is reviewing staffing changes for Q2. So the following figures were recorded. Opening workforce, 5,200 employees. Closing workforce, 5,400 employees. In terms of separations, we have voluntary resignations, 120. Dismissals, 40. Retirement, 60. And then we also have new hires or new employees, new recruitment, 400. Note that GCB Bank defines exit rates as voluntary resignations only. You are required to calculate the labor turnover ratio, exit rate, and entry rate. I take it again. Evans Minta is an operations manager at GCB Bank. He's reviewing staff or staffing changes for Q2. The following figures were recorded. Opening workforce, 5,200 employees. Closing workforce, 5,400 employees. Separations, voluntary resignations, 120. Dismissals, 40. Retirement is 60. And then there's also new recruitment, 400. GCB Bank defines exit rate as voluntary resignations only. Calculate the labor turnover rate or ratio, exit rate, and the entry rate.
Okay, so the labor turnover rate is 0.094, and the exit rate 0.094, and the exit rate is going to give us.
I
Exit rate
cannot
is-
be waiting for you. Give me an answer now.
So the exit rate is 0.02. That is 2.2%.
1 out of 3. University of Ghana. Walali is the HR director at ICAG. He compiles quarterly data for reporting. Opening staff is 8,000. Closing staff is 8,400. Voluntary resignations 160. Retirement 80. Deaths 20. Dismissals 40. And new recruitment is 600, or high is 600. Calculate the labor turnover ratio, exit rate, and entry rates. I'll take it again. Walali is the HR director at ICG. He compiles the following quarterly data for reporting. Opening staff is 8,000. Closing staff is 8,400. Voluntary resignations 160. Retirement is 80. Death is 20. Dismissal 40. And new hire is 600. Calculate the labor turnover ratio, the exit rate, and the entry rate.
Okay, so the voluntary is 0.02. The labor
0.02. Okay.
0.019. The labor.
Please, I need figures now. Kindly give me the figures now. Start again.
So the exit rate is 1.95%. The entry rate is 0.071. Then the labor is 0.2.
2 out of 3. Dombo, your next question. Dombo. Stella is a group finance manager at CompuGhana International. She's reviewing the current value of a bottling plant asset located in a foreign branch. The asset was originally purchased for 500,000 USD, that's US dollars, when the exchange rate was 1 USD equals 4.5 cedis. Due to macroeconomic instability, the current carrying amount in the branch's book is 2.7 million cedis. Stella has commissioned an impairment test in line with IAS 16, and the following data is available. Fair value less cost to sell is 460 US dollars. Value in use is 470,000 US dollars. The current exchange rate is 1 USD equals 5.3. You have to determine the recoverable amount of the asset in cedi. Assess whether an impairment loss should be recognized. If impairment exists, compute the impairment loss in cedi. I take it again. Stella is a group finance manager at CompuGhana International. And she's reviewing the current value of a bottling plant asset located in a foreign branch. The asset was originally purchased for 500,000 US dollars when the exchange rate was $1 equals 4.5 cedi. Due to macroeconomic instability, the current carrying amount in the branch's book is 2.7 million cedis. Stella has commissioned an impairment test in line with IAS 16, and the following data is available. Fair value less cost to dispose or cost of sale is 460,000 US dollars. Value in use 470,000 USD. The current exchange rate is $1 equals 5.3 cedis. Determine the recoverable amount of the asset in cedi. Assess whether an impairment loss should be recognized, and if impairment exists, compute the impairment loss in cedi. You've been bailed out. Bonus for the University of Ghana.
So the recoverable amount is 2,400,000. The recoverable amount is 2,491,000. Then there's going to be an impairment, where the impairment will be recognized at 209,000.
It is correct. All right, we'll continue. Your major question, University of Ghana. Adai is a finance director at CompuGhana's UK subsidiary. She's reviewing the value of specialized IT equipment purchased for £400,000. Due to technological obsolescence, the current amount in local currency is now 3.2 million cedis. A recent impairment test provided the following data. The fair value less cost to disposal is £350,000. Value in use is £370,000. The current exchange rate is 7.8 CD to a pound. Compute the recoverable amount in CD, determine if impairment exists, and calculate the impairment loss, if any. I take it again. Adai is a finance director at CompuGhana's UK subsidiary. She's reviewing the value of specialized IT equipment purchased for £400,000. Due to technological obsolescence, the current amount in local CD or local currency is now 3.2 million cedis. A recent impairment test provided the following data. Fair value less cost to disposal is £350,000. Value in use is £370,000. Current exchange rate is £1 equals 7.8 cedis. Compute the recoverable amount in CD, determine if impairment exists, and calculate the impairment loss, if any.
The recoverable amount is going to give us 2,886,000 Ghana cedis. There's going to be an impairment, which will be valued at 314,000.
Yes. We are going to have our last set of questions for the round. Last set of questions for the round. Okay. Are we ready? Okay. Dumbo. Rukar Limited incurred expenses of 2.5 million CD. Oh, no. Rukar Limited incurred expenses of 2,500 CDs on repairs and improvement of plant and machinery, and declared a profit of 100,000 cedis for the 2023 year of assessment. The written down value of the applicable pool before capitalizing any addition is 60,000 cedis. Compute the amount deductible for repairs and improvement and the excess cost of repairs and improvement expenditure to be added to the depreciation basis of the applicable pool. Rukar Limited incurred expenses of 2,500 cedis on repairs and improvement of plant and machinery, and declared a profit of 100,000 cedis for the 2023 year of assessment. The written down value of the applicable pool before capitalizing any addition is 60,000 cedis. Compute the deductible amount for repairs and improvement and the excess cost of repairs and improvement expenditure to be added to the depreciation basis of the applicable pool.
So the amount deductible is 5,000, and the amount that should be sent is 4,500.
It is not correct.
Okay,
You've
so
been bailed out. Bonus for University of Ghana.
So the amount deductible is going to be 2,500, and there's no going to be an excess.
Yes. Now, Your major question, University of Ghana. University of Ghana, your major question. This will be the last question for the round. Niama Limited incurred expenses on repairs and improvement of 6,500 cedis on a plant and machinery, and also declared a profit of 100,000 cedis for the 2024 year of assessment. The written down value of the applicable pool before capitalizing any excess is 60,000 cedis. Compute the deductible amount for repairs and improvement and the excess cost of repairs and improvement expenditure to be added to the depreciation basis of the applicable pool. Niama incurred expenses on repairs and improvement of 6,500 on a plant and machinery, and also declared a profit of 100,000 cedis for the 2024 year of assessment. The written down value of the applicable pool is 60,000 cedis. That is before capitalizing any excess. Compute the deductible amount for repairs and improvement and the excess that should be added to depreciation basis of the asset.
The amount deductible is 3,000 and the excess is 3,500.
It is correct. On that note, we come to the end of round 2. We come to the end of round 2. It is a third semi-final contest for a place at the national final. We have 2 schools in waiting. The contest is between Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies and the University of Ghana. Our scores for round 2 are ready. All right. So the scores for round 2. Dombo had 8 points. University of Ghana had 17 points. We are going into round 3, where they will be making a presentation to our 3-member panel. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to specially introduce my panel members. They are the ones going to moderate the 3rd round. We have a 3-member panel made up of Mr. Albert Niaitego. He is the finance manager for Ghana Commodity Exchange. We have Madam Rachel Nahimans. She is a chartered accountant. She is a chartered tax professional. Then we have, oh wow. Then we have Mr. Dixon Hassan. He is a chartered accountant. He is the operations manager for Lantini Limited. He is also the executive director of Career Compass GH. So, ladies and gentlemen, they are going to present to us in 3 minutes, and our judges will give their comment and then award marks accordingly. Please, we'll need 1 rep each to be at the control room to control your presentation slides for you. Okay. So, Dumbo will present first, after which we come to the University of Ghana. A quick video of how Dumbo arrived at their solution, which they'll be presenting to us. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is SD Dombo, University of Business and Integrated Development Studies. They will do this presentation in 3 minutes. And their time begins now. 3 minutes.
Thank you very much. I'm Julio Soyoro Bekane, Banking and Finance Level 400. You beat team. So we're faced with a case to do a presentation about a fintech company offering microfinance loans and mobile money transactions to people in Ghana. It is located in Ghana. It is known as the Daily Pays and Regularities. And this one offers loans and other financial assistance online. It uses AI and other financial technology to be able to enhance its operation. Going over the years, it has amassed a lot of customers and be able to increase its customer base. But the thing was that it wasn't having a license. So with regards to that, the Bank of Ghana issued a cease order, asking them to quash their operations because they were not operating with a license. So we are going to look at certain questions being asked. The first one is legal and regulatory bridges. So under the scenario I just explained, we are going to look at some of the regulatory bridges. So the first one, they operated with our licenses and they were also registered with the credit bureau. So the next one, we're going to look at the significance of the bridges. We have non-payment systems and disclosure. So we have the major customer protection risks. We have data privacy. We have aggressive collective tactics. Now we have some risks undermining some risks that undermine the financial inclusion. We have loss of trust, and we also have lack of customer information. We also have lack of cyber security threats. All these will help to hinder the customer participation in the fintech company. We also look at some compliance strategies or some compliance steps that Daily Pays can use to be able to gain back its trust. The first one is that the compliance focus steps are registration with the Credit Reference Bureau. So the Credit Reference Bureau is an institution that monitors how credit information moves. So when they register with the Credit Reference Bureau, it's going to help them to be able to track people that are not able to pay and people that are able to pay. So we also have registering application, following due processes to apply for a license. Now we are going to look at the Bank of Ghana roles in regulating agencies like this. So we first have what? Implementation of fraud detection systems. We also have enforcement of Anti-Money Laundering Act. Now the last one is the actions to rebuild the trust by Daily Pays fintech company. The first one, we look at obtain legal licenses. We look at customer-oriented strategies. We have branding. We have corporate social responsibilities and public education. In this vein, we come to the end of our presentation. Thank you very much.
Take a short video of the University of Ghana team, and then they can begin their presentation. Kindly put their presentation up. University of Ghana, do this in 3 minutes. Your time starts now.
Greetings. My name is Peter Meka Ike. My team and I are representing on DalisPay. DalisPay is a fast-growing fintech startup that has been at the intersection between innovation and regulatory issues. DalisPay has been facing legal and regulatory breaches. This is because DalisPay operates without a license under the Payment Systems Act 2019 and has also not registered with any credit reference bureau. And this registry is very important because DalisPay getting registered is very important because a breach, it tends to know whether they've breached any credit reporting act. How the breach has any significance is that it tends to mar their credibility. The operations of DalisPay tends to pose certain major consumer protection risks. One is that there is poor data privacy practice. And how it undermines financial inclusion is that it tends to expose customer sensitive information. The terms and conditions of DalisPay happen to have also been opaque, which makes understanding of terms and conditions unclear to its customers. Another is that DalisPay tends to embark on an aggressive collection tactics. And this effect is that it tends to tarnish and harass customers. Now, in a bid for DalisPay to regularize its operation, it has to follow certain compliance. And one is that it should obtain a license under the Payment System and Service Act, and also is that it should also register with a credit reference bureau. The role of the BOG, one is that it should also enforce the credit digital online lending, which is a new initiative that the BOG plans to operate. And this important is that it's going to prevent online lenders from breaching consumer data privacy. Also, the BOG should also apply AI algorithm systems that tends to flag any suspicious data breaches that could occur. Now, as a team, we decided to come up with strategic actions that DalisPay should undertake. One is that it's very important. They should get licenses by the Payment Systems and Services Act. Another is that DalisPay should adhere to the cap of the official insurance fee of 2% in order for customers to know the exact amount that will be paying as optional insurance debt. Another is that DalisPay should disclose all transaction fees. And this disclosure is very important because when they tend to disclose their transaction fees, customers are able to know beforehand the actual amount that they will pay. So that if they want to opt for the optional insurance fee, they will communicate it to that fintech. And that tends to also accentuate the reason why their terms and conditions should also be made transparent. I hope our presentation is going to let you know the reason why DalisPay should embark on certain regulatory policies in order to increase their credibility and trust. Thank you.
Thank you very much, University of Ghana, for your presentation.
Okay. I think we should commend our universities for the exposure given to our university students and the depth of research, especially in the financial sector industry. In fact, I'm very impressed. Let's give them a big round of applause for this. Yeah, both schools. Now, if you look at the case that was studied, DalisPay is actually a typical example of a company, especially in the fintech industry, that has a potential to grow and also create employment for a lot of people that would help to be able to do, help to develop our economies. Now, when I get opportunity to talk about the financial sector, one of the things by way of education, and this is just for both schools, is that you can group the financial sector into 4 areas, especially when it comes to discussions on regulations. Because you see that DalisPay could not do well because they found themselves making some financial breaches, which was very important. So, for example, you say for the banking sector, you know that the regulators are the Bank of Ghana. When it comes to the capital markets, now we have the Ghana Stock Exchange and then the Ghana Commodity Exchange, which is regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission under the SIL Act. Then you group back to come to the pensions industry, then you know the National Pensions Regulatory Authority, and then insurance where you have NIC. That helps startups and businesses to be able to understand which regulations you have to follow when you are actually building businesses and all of that. So for Dumbo University, one of the things that you touched on in terms of the role of Bank of Ghana, which I think was very good, was the aspect of ensuring consumer protection, which I think was very key. And I think for University of Ghana, you touched on areas around, managing regulations with innovations and all of that. Overall, very good impression, and I think that we need to give you a good round of applause. Thank you.
Okay, so I would say this particular case is a very technical case, and I'm very proud of the schools, UG, SD Dombo, for presenting, like giving us a good presentation. So my comment is that I like the fact that SD Dombo spoke about the company, um, about the service fees. I like the fact that they spoke about it. And my overall comment is that both schools did very well. Thank you.
Well, do I need to add? Just to say that as a result, I've scored them. SD, I scored 11 out of 15. Correct. And University of Ghana, 12.5 out of 15.
So for me, SD Dombo got 11 out of 15 and Eugene got 12 out of 15.
Okay, so for me, SD Dumbo, 11.5. University of Ghana, 12.
All right. Thank you very much, judges, for a good job done. We will come back with the scores for the round. But before then, we are making progress into the round 4. If the schools want to effect any substitutions, the time is now. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so before we do any other thing, the scores for round 3. At the end of round 3, Edzidomo had 11.17. University of Ghana had 12.17. Please introduce yourself, beginning from Edzidomo.
Okay, my name is Pen Alfred, Become Banking and Finance Level 200.
And who do we have from the University of Ghana?
Cassandra Sante, BSc Accountant, final year.
You're welcome, Madam and Sir. In round 4, I'm going to ask you some questions on stories that appeared in the Graphic Business newspaper. Each of you will attempt 7 major questions. For a major question, you have 10 seconds to give me an answer. If it's a bonus, you have 5 seconds. 3 points for a major question answered correctly, 1 point if it's a bonus. I'm beginning this round from SD Dumbo. SD Dumbo, common preamble to the 2 schools. According to a new research by a top market and economic research agency and consultants in Ghana, Samsho IQ, Ghana's fast-moving consumer goods sector showed signs of recovery at the end of 2024 compared to 2023. Now, Edzidombo, according to the report, as at the end of June 2025, FMCG volume sales and consumption grew by about 12.5% compared to the same period of 2024. Mention the top 3 contributors to this growth and their relative percentage contributions. Mention the top 3 contributors to this growth and their relative percentage contributions.
Okay, so we have food, which contributed 75.4%. Then we also have the non-alcoholic drinks, and this contributes 15.7%. Then we have the alcoholic drink, which contributes 2.4%, and that of the non-food, which contributed 6.5%.
I asked for 3, you gave me 4, I give you 3 points. University of Ghana, according to that same report, as at the end of June 2025, the FMCG consumption in sales value increased by about 42.8% compared to the same period as 2024. Mention the top 3 contributors to this growth and their relative percentage contribution.
So we have the food, 59%. We have non-alcoholic, we have 15%. We have food, 59%, alcoholic, 15.3%, and then a non-alcoholic, 15%.
Yes. Next set of questions, still beginning with SD Dumbo, common preamble. AI is no longer considered science fiction. It is already evident in the way we live, work, and connect. This was mentioned in an article titled, "Is AI Replacing Your Skills?" by Dr. Andrews Aiku. Now, your major question, SD Dombo. According to the article, if you own a small business in Ghana, AI could be your most valuable competitive advantage. Mention any 3 tasks that AI can assist entrepreneurs to scale faster in. Mention any 3 tasks that AI can assist entrepreneurs to scale faster in.
Okay, so the first one, we have a typist. We also have an agent attendant. Then we also have machine learning. We have
That is not correct. Bonus for the University of Ghana.
Okay, so we have data entry, scheduling, and email response.
That is not what I'm looking for. That's not what I am looking for. I won't accept that. Now your major question, University of Ghana. According to that same article, if you're a writer, designer, musician, or public speaker in Ghana, AI technologies can help you. Mention any 3 ways by which AI can make a writer, designer, musician, or public speaker more productive and creative. Mention any 3 ways by which AI can make a writer, designer, musician, or public speaker more productive and creative.
So you are able to edit the song for a musician. You are able to create images, as well as edit those images too.
Also, you mentioned edit twice.
So you are able to edit the song for musicians, create images, and then with respect to those who create the images, they are able to edit those images too.
2 out of 3. Next set of question, common preamble. Still beginning with SD Dombo. Customer service, when deliberately designed and strategically managed, becomes more than a support function. It becomes a core brand asset. For customer service to function as a strategic asset, it must be seamlessly integrated with the organization's brand values, internal culture, and external messaging. Now, SD Dombo, mention and explain briefly any 3 ways by which businesses can use customer service effectively in brand building. Mention and explain briefly any 3 ways by which businesses can use customer service effectively in brand building. It's actually a common preamble to the 2 of you, so each of you should mention 3.
Okay, so we have internal culture, we have we have internal culture. We also have internal culture. We have product quality. We also have product quality. We have brand value and that of purpose. Brand value and that of purpose. And with the explanations, with the internal culture, this actually talks about the ethics of the organization that the workers within the sector should exhibit to encourage more customers or to attract more customers, to create that an environment that is friendly. We also have consistency in, we have the consistency.
How many points are you mentioning? It looks like you are touching on many different points. I need 3 points now. Mention the point. First one, number 1.
We have internal culture, strengthening.
Internal culture.
Internal culture.
Number 2.
Then we also have, quality, product quality. Yes.
Product quality.
Yes. And we also have the branding, that's good branding, and that of positioning. So with the branding, this has to do
I'm
with...
giving you 1 out of 3. University of Ghana, you have your chance now.
So we have 1 to be customer experience as a brand differentiator, where the customers, that is to say, for a brand to build a very good brand using customer service, you have to treat customers well, and this is going to ensure that there is higher customer loyalty. You have the employee experience, employee empowerment as brand representation. That is, customers actually resonate well when employees give them right feedback and then relate well with them. We also have the feedback-driven innovation, where we are going to base on feedbacks from customers and act on it to improve and enhance the brand building.
It is correct. All right. Next set of questions. Common preamble. Next set of questions is a common preamble. The Financial Intelligence Center, FIC, collaborate with a broad spectrum of both international and domestic stakeholders drawn from both the public and private sectors to enhance the fight against financial crime. This approach enables the FIC to speedily obtain and or share quality information with its partners against crime. That's a preamble. Now, you are supposed to mention any 3 stakeholders under the following categories that the FIC collaborate with. Okay? So please give me any 3 regulatory and supervisory bodies or authorities that FIC collaborate with. Each of you. So begin with SD Dombo.
Okay, so we have the economic and organized, that's EOCO. Yes, Economic and Organized Crime Office. We also have the Securities and Exchange Commission. And we also have the National Insurance Commission.
All right, that's fine. University of Ghana.
We have the BOG, we have NPRA, and then the Gold Board.
Yes. For the next set, I'm beginning with the University of Ghana. You begin the next set for us. Development Bank Ghana was established by the government of Ghana to deliver structured capital and strategic support to agribusinesses that are critical to the country's inclusive growth agenda. Now, you are supposed to identify the top 3 lending portfolio of the bank in support of food security for 2022 to 2024 and the percentage contributions. The top 3 lending portfolio of the Development Bank Ghana in support of food security between 2022 and 2024 and the percentage contributions.
So we have the maize to be 43%, rice to be 40%, cassava to be 14%.
Yes. As the Dumbo, identify the contribution of Development Bank Ghana to 3 sectors of the economy and the bank's percentage contribution as at December 2024. Identify the contribution of DBG to 3 sectors of the economy and the bank's percentage contribution as at December 2024.
Okay, so we have agriculture being 5%, we have manufacturing being 2%, and we have service being 1%.
Yes. Next set of questions. Still begin with the University of Ghana. Standard Bank, the parent company of Stanbic Bank Ghana, has demonstrated its leadership after winning a number of awards at the Euro Money Awards for Excellence 2025. University of Ghana, mention any 3 countries in which it won Best Bank. Mention any 3 countries in which Standard Bank won Best Bank.
So we have South Africa, we have Zambia, and then we have Ghana.
Two out of 3. Dombo, mention any 3 countries in which the bank won awards in either customer experience or large corporate. Mention 3 countries in which Standard Bank won awards in either customer experience or large corporates.
Okay, so we have Nigeria, we have Mozambique, and we have Mauritius. That's Mauritius, sorry, Mauritius.
The Mauritius is correct, the others are wrong, so 1 out of 3. So we have Mauritius, South Africa, Tanzania, and Zambia. Now the last question for this round. Last question. The Reset Ghana agenda will not be realized solely by investment in infrastructure, energy, or digitization. It will be driven daily, consistently, and quietly backed by men and women with the right work ethics. The article on building the new Ghana on the foundation of work ethics explores certain work ethics that must be promoted to ensure that the Reset agenda works well. Eugene, please identify and explain the relevance of any 3 of these work values or ethics that we are referring to. Identify and explain briefly any 3 of these work values that we are referring to.
So we have honesty and integrity, which says that or stipulates that workers should uphold honesty and integrity, that is being trustworthy in their organization and operations in order to contribute to the resetting agenda. We also have a sense of productivity and purpose, which emphasizes the fact of being productive, in a sense that where employees are found in workplace, they should try and then contribute to their productivity. We have dedication and commitment, which shows a sense of being attached to your organization and then contributing to the resetting agenda.
It is correct. And now the last question goes to SD Dumbo. As Ghana resets its national agenda to build a more inclusive, equitable, and competitive society, one critical lever that must not be ignored is affirmative action. Far from being a token gesture or political concession, affirmative action is a transformative tool that, when implemented strategically, can unlock the full potential of our people, especially the historically marginalized. In the context of the Reset agenda, affirmative action can be applied in several key areas. SD Dumbo, identify and explain briefly any 3 of these areas. Identify and explain briefly any 3 areas where affirmative action can be applied.
Okay, so we have political and public relation. We have public leadership. So the next one, we have empowerment and promotion. Then we have business and procurement. So the first one being political and public leadership. This one has to, it tells us to engage women and other less privileged people, like the disabled people, to engage them in public places. The next one is businesses and procurement. We have to involve women and other vulnerable people to undertake businesses. This one can be about maybe an entrepreneurial program to women. And the last one we are looking at is empowerment and promotion. So empowerment and promotion has to do with lifting up the morals of various individuals, especially those in the affirmative action region, which are women, disabled people. We have...
It's fine. It's actually employment and promotion, but I'll accept that. And that is the end of round 4. So we are going to take the scores for round 4, and then we'll move quickly to round 5. If our scores for round 4 are ready, remember that this is the last semi-final contest. The first one was won by KNUST, the second one by the University of Education, Winneba. This one will be won by either University of Ghana or SD Dumbo. Do we have our scores for round 4? At the end of round 4, SD Dumbo had 14 points, University of Ghana had 19 points. Let's go to round 5. This is a true or false segment. In this round, I'm going to read out some statement to you. You have to tell me if the statement is true or false. If you get it correct, you have 2 points. If you get it wrong, -1. You may decide not to answer. You have 10 seconds to give me an answer anyway. I'm beginning this round from the University of Ghana. Common preamble. Common preamble. Michael Mensah signs a contract to sell his boat to Malik for 10,000 cedis while heavily intoxicated at a party. The next morning, Michael wants to cancel the deal, saying he had no understanding of what he was doing. That's a preamble. Is that clear? SD Dombo, did you get a preamble? University of Ghana, did you get a preamble? Okay. Now, Eugene, your question. Contracts signed under intoxication are always void. Contracts signed under intoxication are always void.
True. True.
It is not true. They are voidable, not void. SD. If Malik was unaware of Franklin's intoxication, the contract remains enforceable. If Malik was unaware of Michael's intoxication, the contract remains enforceable.
It's false.
It is not false. The next set of questions. University of Ghana. The sum of an infinite geometric series is undefined when the common ratio equals 0. The sum of an infinite geometric series is undefined when the common ratio equals 0.
False.
Yes. Dumbo. Dumbo. The sum of an infinite geometric series can never be negative if the first term is positive. The sum of an infinite geometric series can never be negative if the first term is positive.
It's false.
It is false, yes. University of Ghana. The primary financial metric in theory of constraint is operating profit per unit produced. The primary financial metric in the theory of constraint is operating profit per unit produced.
False.
Yes. Dumbo. In the theory of constraints, a non-bottleneck resource that operates at 100% utilization may be harming the system. In theory of constraints, a non-bottleneck resource that operates at 100% utilization may be harming the system. True or false?
It's true.
It is true. University of Ghana. The delta of a put option becomes negative as the option moves deeper in the money. The delta of a put option becomes negative as the option moves deeper in the money.
False.
It is not false. Dumbo, the gamma of a dip in the money put option is close to 0. The gamma of a dip in the money put option is close to 0.
It's true.
It's true. Next set of questions, I'm beginning with Dumbo. Reverse logistics. Reverse logistics operations typically use the same infrastructure and KPIs as forward logistics. Reverse logistics operations typically use the same infrastructure and KPIs as forward logistics.
It's false.
It's false, yes. University of Ghana, the cost of reverse logistics is generally lower than forward logistics due to reduced handling requirements. The cost of reverse logistics is generally lower than forward logistics due to reduced handling requirements.
False.
Yes. Dumbo. Mineral operations relating to a mine and shared processing facility are regarded as separate operations for the purpose of taxation. Mineral operations relating to a mine and shared processing facility are regarded as a separate operation for tax purposes.
It's true.
It's true. University of Ghana, where two or more persons, apart from a partnership, hold a mineral right, each person is taxed separately. Where two or more persons, apart from a partnership, hold a mineral right, each person is taxed separately.
True.
Yes. And now the last question for this round, last set. Dumbo, according to the M&M proposition 2, I hope you know what M&M is. The Modigliani and Miller's capital structure proposition. So according to the M&M proposition 2, with no taxes, the weighted average cost of capital, that is WACC, remains constant regardless of leverage. According to the M&M proposition 2 with no taxes, the weighted average cost of capital remains constant regardless of leverage.
It's true, sir.
Yes. And now the last one to the University of Ghana. Under M&M proposition 2 with taxes, the cost of equity decreases as the debt to equity ratio increases. Under M&M proposition 2 with taxes, the cost of equity decreases as the debt to equity ratio increases.
False.
It's false. And now, that is the end of round 5. How is it going for USD Dumbo?
We are still poised going forward.
University of Ghana, how is it going for you?
It depicts a semi-final.
He says it depicts a semi-final. Our scores for round 5. At the end of round 5, University of Ghana had 8 points, Ezidomo had 11 points. Riddles. There are 5 riddles in all. Is it 5 or 6? It's 6. Yes. The riddles are open to the two of you. The first school to ring their bell will be required to give an answer in 10 seconds. If you get it correct on the first attempt, 5 points. First clue. Second clue, 4 points. Correct on any other clue, 3 points. Let me hear the bell from SD Dumbo. University of Ghana. Riddle number 1. I am an approach of writing or organizing a document. I am a method of organizing content where items are listed from most recent to oldest. I am commonly used in resumes or CVs, blogs or news feeds, social media timelines, financial statements, or even academic or work portfolios. In a resume, I'm the situation where work experience with the most recent job comes first, followed by previous. SD Dumbo.
Chronology.
Chronological order.
I'm not accepting that. I continue for the benefit of University of Ghana. Some of my benefits include providing a focus on recent experience, showing a clear and organized progression of career history, allowing recruiters to easily see your career trajectory. I'm the most widely used and accepted resume format, making it a safe bet for most job seekers. University of Ghana.
Work approach method.
No. So SD Dumbo nearly had it, but it's reverse chronology. Reverse chronology is from next riddle. I am a key financial metric that measures a company's profitability. I am a widely used indicator of a company's financial health. I am often used by investors to compare different companies and assess their values. A higher value generally suggests a more profitable company, as I indicate a greater proportion of the company's net income is attributed to each ordinary stock. I should be considered alongside other financial metrics and should not be used in isolation. SD Dumbo.
So we have return on investment.
No. I continue for University of Ghana. I should be considered alongside other financial metrics and should not be used in isolation, as I can be influenced by factors beyond the company's operations, such as stock repurchases. I am calculated by dividing the company's net income after deducting preferred dividend by the number of outstanding shares. University of Ghana.
Earnings per share.
Yes, earnings per share. They answered on the last clue, 3 points. 3 points. Riddle number 3. Riddle number 3. I am a visual tool that displays all critical steps in a specific process and easily quantifies the time and volume taken at each stage. I show the flow of both materials and information as they progress through the process. Although I am often associated with manufacturing, I am also used in logistics, supply chain, service-related industries, healthcare, software development, product development, etc. My purpose is to identify and remove or reduce waste in streams, thereby increasing the efficiency of a given stream. I am a lean management method for analyzing the current state and designing a future state for the series of events that take a product or service from the beginning of the specific process until it reaches the customer. Who am I? University of Ghana.
Value stream mapping.
Yes. Three points. 3 points. Please, let's continue. Riddle number 4. I am a subset of the deep web, which is all the content on the internet that is not indexed by standard search engines. I am not accessible through regular web browsers. Users need to use specialized software like Tor to access me. While often associated with illegal activities, I also host legitimate uses like whistleblowing, secure communication, and research. My anonymity is achieved through encryption. Dumbo.
That is the dark web.
Yes, dark web. They answered on the 4th clue, 3 points. 3 points. Riddle number 5. Riddle number 5. I am a type of bias in social science research. I am the tendency of survey respondents to answer questions in a manner that will be viewed favorably by others. I can take the form of over-reporting good behavior or under-reporting bad or undesirable behavior. I pose a serious problem with conducting research with self-reports. I interfere with the interpretation of average tendencies as well as individual differences. Topics where I am of special concern are self-report of abilities, personality, sexual behavior, and drug use. Who am I? Dombo.
Okay, so we have cognitive bias.
No, it is not cognitive bias. University of Ghana.
Framing effect.
No, please. It is known as the social desirability bias. We. The last time I gave you didn't answer. And now the last question for the round, last question for the contest. I'm a form of international tax avoidance and evasion scheme. I am commonly used by multinational companies or investors to take advantage of lower withholding tax rates or exemptions in a treaty. Developing countries can be particularly vulnerable to tax revenue loss. Dumbo.
Tax sparing.
No, it is not tax sparing. I continue. Countries and international bodies like OECD have introduced various countermeasures, such as limitations on benefit clauses, principal purpose tests, and beneficial ownership requirements. I refer to the abusive practice where individuals or businesses exploit international tax treaties by routing income through a third country, often with favorable tax treaties, to avoid or reduce tax liabilities in the source or residence country. Who am I? University of Ghana.
Treaty shopping.
Yes, treaty shopping. Tax treaty shopping is correct, and that is the end of the contest. So, ladies and gentlemen, the contest has come to an end. We will take the scores for round 6 and then come back with the final results. You people should leave me alone. Scores for round 6. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, without wasting much time, we'll take the final results, and then we know. So the final results. No. Please check your results. So whilst we are waiting for the results, our sponsors have been Glyco Life, CompuGhana, PwC, Go Ghana, Papaya Fast Foods, Ghana National Association of Teachers, EPP Book Services, Zenith University College. Our final results. At the end of the contest. At the end of the contest, SC Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies had 57.17. University of Ghana at 74.17. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, per these results, ladies and gentlemen, by these results, and by the powers in me vested, as a quiz master of the Tertiary Business Sense Challenge, I hereby declare the University of Ghana as winners of the contest. Ladies and gentlemen, by this outcome, for the very first time in the history of the Tertiary Business Sense Challenge, we are going to have the same set of schools in the final as the previous year. Ladies and gentlemen, our 3 finalists, in no particular order: Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, University of Education Winneba. University of Ghana. By this result again, and by the lineup that we have in the final, at the end of the final, the University of Cape Coast will not be the only school with 2 titles, because the 3 schools going to the final each has 1 title. So one of them will equal UCC's record. Congratulations to the University of Ghana. I'll see you at the final. Now, what we want to also say is kudos to SD Dombo for giving us a very good competition. Now, comparing this result to what transpired last year. Last year, University of Ghana had 73.17. This year, they have 74.17. An increment by a point. On the contrary, last year, SD Dumbo had 41.67. This year, they have increased it to 57.17. That is a marked improvement. Congratulations to you. But unfortunately, your journey in the 2025 Tertiary Business Sense Challenge has to come to an end today. Thank you for coming. I'll see you next year. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 semifinals gone. We started with over 30 contests. We have done about 29 contests so far. 1 final contest remains, and that contest is a grand finale. That contest will feature 3 zonal champions: Southeast Zone champion, Southwest Zone champion, Middle Zone champion. Ladies and gentlemen, my name has been Al-Hassan Yusuf Traore. Of course, you know I love academic violence. I'll see you in the final, but before then, special appreciation to my panel of judges for making time of their very busy schedule. Thank you so much for coming. And to you, studio audience. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate your support always. And my production team, everyone who has been involved in this production, from the executive producer down to all of us from ICAG and everybody. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a bye for me. I'll see you in the finals. Audience is ready. Studio audience, I must say, are gingered up. Last quarterfinal contest for day 1 is upon us. To Mudaraba and Musharaka in Islamic finance. I asked you to state and explain. You haven't explained. I want you to explain the points that you have mentioned today. Join me as we want to experience some academic violence this afternoon. Team Gamma, 8 members with individual coding speed of 11 tasks per day, operate at 80% efficiency. Determine how many days each team will take to complete the project. Back if you should lose this one. A place at the semi-final is what is at stake. You are tempted to school. Bonus for Central University. On that note, we come to the end of round 4A, ladies and gentlemen. Next set of questions, University of Education Winneba. The 2024 edition of the Tertiary Business Sense Challenge has finally come to an end. How do you assess your own performance? My name is Al-Hassan Yusuf Traore, and I welcome you all to join in this violence. Audience is ready. Studio audience, I must say, are gingered up. Last quarterfinal contest for day 1 is upon us. To Mudaraba and Musharaka in Islamic finance. I asked you to state and explain. You haven't explained. I want you to explain the points that you have mentioned today. Join me as we want to experience some academic violence this afternoon.